The word need is very misunderstood. We assume immediately that need is a sign of weakness, and that it's meant to describe weakness. You're needy. Ooh, terrible. But that's not what the word means. Need means necessity. Necessity is not a weakness, necessarily. Like, I need to have more meaning in my life. What is that, a weakness? I need to grow up. Not a weakness. I need to learn more. I need to do more. That's not a weakness. That's an ambition. That's a sense of purpose. That's growth. Now, of course, being human means we're finite, and the need to grow is because we're limited and we want to become a little less limited. So there is a human element to it, but not a weakness. A human being needs to be a human being. Is that a weakness? Or is that simply a description of the essence of the human being? So we could use the word need interchangeably with essential. What is essential must be. What is needed must be. So if we take a look at even human needs, there are the genuine needs, and there are the secondary, maybe even acquired needs. You need a car because you need to go downtown. You need to go downtown because your job is there, and you have to have a job. You have to have a job because you need money, and you need money only because you need to buy stuff. And you need stuff only to make your life a little more comfortable, a little more convenient, a little more enjoyable. So really, in the end, all you really need is to live. Everything else is secondary. So when we say human need, we can break it into these two categories. Essential need, gotta live, versus acquired need that wouldn't exist by itself. If I live downtown next to my job, I don't need a car. If I can get money without a job, that would be even better. And if I could get stuff without money, who would need money? And if I can do without stuff, my life would be better. So to say I need a car, we're just borrowing the term. You don't really need a car. Car is useful in order to get to what you need more than you need the car. So the first thing is, the word need, when we use it describing mitzvahs, God's need, of course we're not talking about an acquired need. There's another category of need that we can eliminate, and that is needs that change with time. What I needed when I was a child, I don't need anymore. What I need today, I'm not going to need 10 years from now. So if I need it only for a certain period of time, that's not my real need. A real need would not change. So a real need in a human being is that which you need, whether you're young or old, middle-aged, or ancient. There's another category of need that we can eliminate, and that is a need that weakens you. Because of this need, I am weakened, I am reduced, I am lessened. That's not my need. That's what I don't need. I need it like a hole in the head. So the dependency on food, for example, what does that do for me? It just weakens me. I can't go without food. So, do I need what weakens me? Do I need to be weak? Of course not. So to call that my need is not correct. Anything that diminishes me, I don't need. I may not have a choice. I gotta eat. But I wouldn't call that my need. That's a biological necessity that is imposed on me by my Creator. The need to sleep, the need for security, the need for friendship, support, all of that weakens me. So yes, it is unavoidable, but I wouldn't call it my need. Maybe my handicap. So when we say God needs, we're not talking about a secondary need. We're not talking about a need that will change from time to time. And we're not talking about a need that weakens him. Of course not. Even in the human being, that's not the true need. So let's just talk about the human. What is a genuine, absolutely real need in a human being? Turns out that there's only one. And it's not life. Because we don't need to live. We don't need to be born. It's not my need. The only need I have is to fulfill the purpose for which I was born. Is that a weakness? Is that something to be ashamed of? Of course not. I need to know why I'm here. I need to know who I'm serving. And I need to know how to serve. Those are very real needs. Because without it, I'll get depressed. If I can't figure out what I'm doing here, I'm not going to want to be here. So it elevates me, it ennobles me. It won't change from childhood to adulthood. And it's not secondary. It's not in order to get me to heaven. I fulfill the purpose for which I was created to fulfill the purpose for which I was created. That's a genuine need because that is the essential definition of a human being. A purposeful creation that partners with God in making the world holy. That's a human being. So does a human being have to be a human being? Yeah. It's essential. Now, when the Torah uses the word Tzorech Elyon, like in the description of the highest level of tzaddik, the highest level of tzaddik is called B'nai Aliyah because they do the mitzvah not to satisfy their own spiritual needs, but to serve the needs of their Creator. So it uses the word need in Hebrew. So we translate it to be need. But not frivolous need, of course. Just like when we say God is all-knowing, nobody says, oh no, he can't know, he's God. Of course he knows. But not as shallow as a human's knowledge. It's perfect knowledge. So now we can add one final definition to need. In the human being, whatever it is I do need, I may never achieve. I'm human. Are there people in the world who never get to do what their shlichus or purpose in life is? Possibly. So a need that may never be fulfilled is a flawed need. Whereas when we say God's need, well, of course we're talking about a perfect need, not a flawed one. Which means, if he needs it, of course it's going to happen. What's really important about this is that the other words we use, God desired, God enjoys, God wants, it all leaves us open to the possibility that all of that might change. Maybe as God gets older, he won't need it anymore. Maybe it was only a means to an end and we've already reached the end, so now we don't need it anymore. Like when Mashiach comes, we won't have to do mitzvahs anymore. Because the world is already perfect. Right? That is a completely unacceptable definition of Torah, of mitzvahs, and of God. Because essentially, the Torah is Him. The mitzvahs are Him. But in that, there's a body and a soul. The body of Torah and mitzvahs is that it's God's wisdom and God's will. It's God's chokhmah and God's ratzon. Is that enough? No. There's something more to the Torah, and that is the soul of the Torah. The secrets of Torah. The secret of Torah is that it's more than God's chokhmah, more than God's ratzon. It is Him. Torah, God, and Jewish souls are all one. They're one, which means indivisible. You can't have a separation between God and Torah, between God and Jews, between Jews and Torah, between Jews and God. It's all one. Yisrael eiraisa v'kuchabrichu kul echad. So there's the body of it, and there's the soul of it. In the body, you can say God wants the mitzvah. In the soul of it, God is the mitzvah. It's indispensable. It cannot change. It cannot fail. And it is not a means to an end. That's called emes. And that's why the Rambam says that one of the 13 principles of faith is that the Torah will never change. Why is that so important? Because if you think that the Torah can change or a mitzvah can change, then you don't understand what it is. God can't change, mitzvahs can't change. So if you don't understand that, and you don't believe that, then you're missing one of the 13 principles of Jewish faith. That's serious.